The first thing Daniel felt was the cold. It pressed against his skin and crept into his bones. He tried to move, but his arms would not respond. Light burned through his eyelids. He forced them open. The ceiling above him was not a ceiling, he knew. It curved like the inside of a shell. Soft blue veins of light pulsed through it. Shapes moved around him. Tall shapes. Thin shapes. Not human. Daniel tried to speak. A rough sound came from his throat. The shapes froze. One of them stepped closer. Its body was long and pale, 4 arms folded against its chest. Its eyes were wide and silver. It made a series of low tones that vibrated in the air. Daniel turned his head. The room was circular. Walls shimmered like liquid glass. Strange instruments floated near him. He was lying on a table that hummed under his back. Memory came in a rush. The patrol ship. The ambush. The explosion. The void. He remembered the flash that swallowed everything. He should be dead. The tall being leaned closer. A thin band slid around Daniel's head. A soft pressure filled his skull. Then a voice spoke inside his mind. "You are conscious." Daniel flinched. The voice was calm and layered. Many tones at once. Daniel swallowed. "Where am I?" The being tilted its head. More tones rippled through the room. You are within the medical sanctum of the Cathara Union. You were recovered from debris. Near the Shara Rift. Alien. Hospital. The words settled in his mind. Daniel forced himself to breathe slowly. How long? 3 rotations of our primary star. 3 days. The being stepped back. Others moved closer. They studied him with glowing panels and shifting lenses. Your physiology is unstable. Your survival is statistically improbable. Daniel let out a weak laugh. It hurt. Story of my life. The aliens went still. Another voice entered his mind. Sharper. Older. We have examined your structure. Dense calcium frame. Layered muscle fibers. Redundant organs. Aggressive immune response. You continued neural activity after trauma that would terminate most known species. Daniel blinked. You're saying I'm hard to kill. There was a pause. Correct. He tried to sit up. Restraints tightened across his chest. Do not move. Your internal tissues are repairing at accelerated rates, but are not yet restored. Daniel looked at his arms. Bruises faded even as he watched. A deep cut along his side knitted closed in slow motion. What did you do to me? We stabilized you. Your cells are doing the rest. A murmur passed through the room. The aliens shifted closer. One of them lowered itself until its face was level with his dot. When our recovery vessel found you, we believed you were a fallen war construct. Daniel frowned. A what? A bioweapon. Your outer armor was fused to your skin. Your vessel carried projectile arms and fission cores. You radiate residual energy signatures associated with military castes. Daniel almost smiled. I'm just a pilot. The words translated. The aliens recoiled. Just the older voice returned. Your species travels the void in fragile shells. You endure radiation storms. You breathe reactive oxygen. You wage wars across planetary surfaces. And you classify one such as yourself as ordinary. Daniel felt a strange flicker of pride. Yeah, that sounds about right. Silence filled the chamber. Then something unexpected happened. The tall being near his head slowly lowered all four arms and bent forward. Its forehead touched the edge of the table. Another followed. Then another. Within seconds, every alien in the room had lowered themselves. In the same posture, Daniel stared. "What are you doing?" The older voice trembled now. "We are offering reverence." "For what?" "For your awakening." Daniel's heart thudded. "You think I'm some kind of god?" "Not a god." The being lifted its head. Slightly, harbinger. Daniel swallowed hard. Of what? Of endurance beyond reason. Of flesh that defies entropy. Of a species that thrives in violence and calls it survival. Daniel shook his head. "You've got it wrong. Humans aren't monsters. We have studied your transmissions. Your history is saturated with conflict. Your art glorifies sacrifice. Your young are trained in simulated combat. Yet you bond in pairs. You nurture offspring for extended cycles. You form alliances beyond genetic ties. You rebuild after catastrophe without directive from a hive or a central mind." The alien raised its gaze fully now. "You combine brutality with compassion. This paradox is unknown to us." Daniel looked around the room. At the bowed forms. At the alien doctors who had saved his life. "You saved me," he said softly. "If anyone deserves reverence, it's you." A ripple moved through their ranks. "We acted from curiosity. Still counts." The restraints loosened slightly. Daniel pushed himself up this time. Pain flared, but he gritted his teeth and sat upright. Several aliens flinched at the display. "Your skeletal structure should not support such strain." Daniel swung his legs over the side of the table. His feet touched the smooth floor. "Guess it does." Alarms chimed. Panels flickered. "Your metabolic output is spiking." "That's adrenaline," explained. Daniel gave a small smile. "It means I'm getting ready." "For what?" He looked at the curved walls, at the unfamiliar sky visible through a high opening. Strange stars burned in violet hues. "To go home." The room fell silent again. "Interstellar travel requires advanced field manipulation." "Your vessel was destroyed." Daniel nodded. "Then I'll need a ride." Whispers filled his mind. Rapid exchanges in tones he could barely track. Finally, the older voice spoke. "If your species possesses many, like you, the balance of the union will shift upon contact." Daniel met the alien's silver eyes. "We're not looking to conquer anyone. We just want to explore. Sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we fight. But we also protect our own." He paused. "And we don't forget those who help us." The alien studied him for a long moment. "Your neural patterns indicate sincerity." "Good." The being straightened to its full height. "Then hear this, human Daniel. The Cathari Union will return you to your territory. We will also transmit a record of your survival. Your resilience will be archived in our deepest vaults." Daniel let out a breath he did not know he was holding. "Appreciate it." One final question resonated in his mind. If your kind is not unique among your species, then how? Have others not dominated the stars? Daniel looked toward the distant violet. "Sons, we're working on it." For a moment, there was stillness. Then something like quiet. Laughter echoed through the chamber. The aliens did not bow this time. They stood beside him, not in worship but in respect, and somewhere beyond the curved walls of the alien hospital a ship began to prepare for a journey that would change both their worlds forever. Asterisk.